Hi everybody, Miscellaneous here and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, this is where I take you to see offbeat, interesting and quirky tourist attractions. I'm not sure you'd call today's visit a tourist attraction though. I've been to the site of 10 Rillington Place in Ladbroke Grove, London. For those of you who don't know, this is where infamous British serial killer John Reginald Halliday Christie lived, and it's where he murdered his victims. Christie was one twisted individual. Let me show you a picture of him.
I mean, look at those scary eyes staring out at you. But apparently, had you known him, you wouldn't have guessed what his sick hobby was, as he hid beneath the cloak of respectability and managed to send innocent Timothy Evans to the hangman for 2 murders that he himself committed. Christie's modus operandi was to gas and strangle his victims, raping them either whilst they were unconscious or ante-mortem. His house was literally bleeding bodies, as he hid them within the fabric of his home. Here's his house plan, showing the location of his 8 victims. Amazingly, tenants continued to occupy 10 Rillington Place, even after Christie had been hanged in 1953, right up to the time of its demolition, which took place in the early 1970s. By that time, it had been renamed Ruston Close.
The whole area was rebuilt to a different geographical layout, possibly to stop macabre individuals like myself going to view the location. Now, this vlog is not going to be about Christie's crimes. They are well documented and discussed. Rather, this vlog is going to be about what's at the site of 10 Rillington Place nowadays. Maps do exist which overlay the map of the time on top of what's there nowadays. Let's take a look.
The pictures do differ slightly. This image shows Christie's house and garden totally covering these flats in St Andrew's Square. And this image shows it slightly proud of the building, jutting out into open space. Here's 10 Rillington Place as it was during Christie's time.
Come and take a walk in my shoes and we'll see what we can find. Do give me a like, do subscribe to my channel and do click on the notifications bell. I will see you in the video.
As we walk up, the covered edifice in front of us is the Grenfell Tower. That was horrifically gutted by fire in 2017, causing the loss of 72 lives. I did see the building not long after the fire. It was in a terrible, terrible state, as you would expect. Here's the Hammersmith and City line as we head into Bartle Road. That would have been here during Christie's time. It opened in 1864. Now, Christie committed his crimes between 1943 and 1953. Some of these flats look quite cute, and I bet they cost a pretty penny too. In Christie's time, this area was really run down. It's called Notting Dale. It stands next to Notting Hill. And here we are. This is the view from Bartle Road, overlooking where 10 Rillington Place was. You have St Andrew's Court at the back, and 10 Rillington Place would have stood just proud of that. It would have jutted out at a slight angle, standing further proud to the left. The green garden section is actually raised. Let's fade 10 Rillington Place in, as we stand on, more or less, exactly the same place. Is the land cursed? According to an article in The Independent, one ground floor resident thinks so. To paraphrase, I have a bad feeling about this place. The electrics go wrong, the toilets go wrong, the heating goes wrong. I'm going to get an exorcist in. I've had devout Catholics come and told them to bring holy water. I think the place is cursed, he says. I've had bad luck since I've been here. I've been here 40 years. My health's gone. Everything's gone. But another, first-floor resident takes a more pragmatic approach. "We looked it up and read the story," he says. "I think I would be a bit more suspicious if I bought on the ground floor." Unlike the elderly, unnamed resident who lives below him, he doesn't believe that Christie's crimes are anything to worry about. "I didn't have any bad vibes when I walked into the house," he says. "And I thought to myself, London is a big city. Unless you can show me one plot of land where someone hasn't been killed, slaughtered, raped or stabbed in the past 1,000 years, well, I don't think that plot of land in London exists." Here's the side view of the garden, and the front of Christie's house would have jutted out here, by this wall on the right. The front of the house had a bow window, and behind that was Christie's living room, and under the floorboards was buried Christie's wife, Ethel Christie. Let's take a minute to remember the women rather than Christie. As well as Ethel Christie, buried in the garden were Ruth Fuerst and Muriel Eady. In the wash house were secreted Geraldine Evans and Beryl Evans, and, papered into an alcove in the kitchen, were the bodies of Hectorina McLennan, Rita Nelson and Kathleen Maloney. It's sad that often in cases like these the murderer gets remembered, but the victims sometimes not. Do check out my blog, as I've written about this too. We're at the back of the building now, and here, where what I think is a surface area meets St Andrew's Court, would have been the corner of Christie's garden, at a slight angle. As I mentioned, in his garden were the bodies of Ruth Fuerst and Muriel Eady. Let's head a bit closer. And the corner of Christie's garden was right there. And what do I think? Well, I did another circuit round to Bartle Road. The first time I was here, it was a lovely day when I ventured out with just my camera. It was sunny and spring was in the air. On such a pleasant day, it was seemingly impossible to pick up bad vibes from the building. Everything was calm and peaceful. When I returned to do my filming, it was a grottier day and raining intermittently, but the sun was trying to break through, especially as I stared over the garden. On both occasions, whilst looking over the garden, I did pick up on a very calm and peaceful vibe. At the risk of sounding fey and whimsical, I think the victims rest in peace, happy that justice was finally done.
Thank you for watching this rather sobering video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. If it's bodies you're interested in, you might enjoy my visit to Brompton Cemetery. The link is here. Remember to give me a like, do subscribe to my channel and click on the notifications bell. Come and see me soon for another miscellaneous adventure, and until next time, ta-ta for now.